The second night of BTS's concert in Boston turned into a moment that thousands of armies packing the stadium would never forget. In the midst of glittering purple lights and fans' voices echoing throughout the arena, everyone's attention suddenly shifted to a 6-year-old little army attending a BTS concert for the very first time. The young child came with their family holding a simple sign that managed to catch many people's attention. With large, enthusiastic writing, the sign read, "I love Jimin. Give me a gift, whatever it is." At first, no one expected that the sign would actually be seen by Jimin. However, as he walked along the side of the stage, Jimin's eyes suddenly landed on the little army. Jimin stopped in his tracks and smiled brightly at the child. The entire stadium instantly went wild. Armies screamed hysterically as Jimin slowly approached the young fan's seat. The child looked so shocked they couldn't utter a word, while people around them began recording the moment. However, the surprises didn't stop there. Jimin then bent down and carefully picked up the little army. The stadium's atmosphere immediately turned into an ocean of cheers and emotional tears. Many fans did not expect Jimin to do something so warm in the middle of such a lively concert. Not only did he hold the child, but Jimin also gave a special gift to the young fan. With his signature smile, he handed over an accessory he had been wearing on stage. Jimin even formed a heart symbol with both hands before resuming his performance. That moment made thousands of fans unable to hide their emotions. Many armies were seen crying, moved by the immense care Jimin showed toward his youngest fan. On social media, various comments began pouring in. Most fans admitted feeling envious yet overjoyed seeing the event unfold. "I wish I were that little army too," one fan wrote. "I can't believe Jimin actually walked up to them," wrote another fan. Many also expressed growing admiration because a 6-year-old child was already such a big fan of Jimin. According to them, this proved that Jimin has the ability to bring comfort and happiness to fans of all ages. Amidst the emotional atmosphere, Jungkook, who witnessed everything from the stage, could only smile while shaking his head. He seemed to pause for a moment, as if amazed that a simple sign could turn into one of the most touching moments of the night's concert. The second night of BTS's concert in Boston ultimately became proof that to Jimin, the bond between an idol and a fan is no ordinary encounter. A simple sign, a sincere smile, and a warm embrace were enough to create a memory that will be cherished for years to come by all the armies who witnessed it. The camera spotlight continuously focusing on Jungkook made the atmosphere even livelier. After making a joke that Jimin had found his #1 fan, Jungkook looked back at the little army with a wide smile. Jungkook then gave a thumbs up to the child, as if congratulating them on successfully catching Jimin's attention amidst tens of thousands of audience members filling the stadium. Jungkook's spontaneous reaction was immediately greeted by long cheers from fans. Most armies even admitted that Jungkook's expression looked just as surprised as everyone else present. Meanwhile, Jimin was still seen chatting briefly with the young fan. Occasionally, he laughed while gently patting the child's head before finally handing over the gift he had prepared. Jungkook, standing not far away, shook his head again while laughing. He then patted Jimin's shoulder and raised both hands in the air, as if to show the entire audience that the night truly belonged to the little fan. That moment quickly became one of the most shared clips by fans across various social media platforms. Many stated that the simple care Jimin showed to the little army was proof that the relationship between BTS and their fans always holds a special place. Yet, amid the deeply emotional atmosphere, one thing became the main focus of fans: Jungkook's expression, which from the beginning could not hide his admiration for Jimin's actions. Even as Jimin returned to the center of the stage, Jungkook was still seen smiling while looking toward the stands where the little army was seated. That simple sight instantly made thousands of fans cheer even louder than before. After writing the message, Jimin didn't immediately head back to the center of the stage. Instead, he crouched down in front of the little army to make sure the child could see the writing he had just made. As soon as they realized what the message said, the young fan covered their mouth with both hands in disbelief at what was happening. Moments later, the child hugged the poster tightly, as if trying to preserve a memory they would never forget. That moment instantly made the stadium's mood even more emotional. The spotlight slowly shifted toward the audience stands, while the massive screen continuously displayed the young fans' emotional reaction. Jimin then smiled and formed a heart symbol with both hands. Shortly after, he gently stroked the child's head before standing back up. At the same time, Jungkook was once again in the spotlight. He was seen laughing while tapping his own forehead. His expression seemed to capture just how amazed he was to see Jimin giving such immense attention to one of his fans. "I think Jimin found a new best friend tonight," Jungkook said with a smile, which was immediately met with loud cheers from the audience. Meanwhile, the army sitting around the little fan were also moved to tears. Many of them captured the moment on their mobile phones, while others continuously shouted Jimin's name. Quite a few fans admitted that they had never witnessed such a warm moment before. For them, Jimin's simple gesture had transformed a massive concert into a deeply personal memory for a 6-year-old child. When Jimin finally walked back toward the center of the stage, he glanced back once more at the young fan. With a warm smile, he waved his hand before continuing his performance. Meanwhile, the little fan was still holding onto the poster tightly. The night may have only lasted a few hours, but the memory created would remain for years. And for the thousands of armies present in Boston that night, one thing became abundantly clear. Jimin not only managed to captivate the audience with his performance on stage, but also through small acts of care that left such a profound impression. However, the big surprise was not over yet. After gifting the bracelet he had been wearing throughout the concert, Jimin bent down once again to speak briefly with the young fan. Although their voices were not clearly audible over the roaring stadium, the warm expression Jimin displayed caused thousands of armies to cheer once more. The little fan looked at the bracelet in their hands repeatedly, as if still trying to convince themselves that everything happening that night was real. Beside them, the family members accompanying the child could not hold back their tears of emotion. Meanwhile, the stadium's giant screens kept showing Jungkook's reaction. He was seen laughing while shaking his head and occasionally glancing toward Jimin. That expression instantly drew laughter from fans who had been following the moment with great enthusiasm. Not long after, Jungkook walked closer and stood beside Jimin. Playfully, he raised both hands again and pointed at the little fan, as if trying to say that this was a night no one would ever forget. Cheers echoed throughout the stadium once more. Some fans chanted Jimin's name repeatedly, while others kept waving their army bombs in the air. Many fans admitted that they came to the concert to enjoy BTS's spectacular performance, but that night they witnessed a story that was far more memorable. A simple meeting between an idol and a young fan turned into one of the most touching moments of the second day's concert in Boston. As Jimin finally took steps back toward the center of the stage, he looked back one last time at the little fan. With his signature smile, he formed a heart with both hands, which was instantly greeted by loud cheers from tens of thousands of fans. To many people, that moment might have only lasted a few minutes. But for that little fan, that night will become a story to be remembered for the rest of their life. And for ARMY, one thing became even clearer. Jimin proved once again that a small, sincere gesture is capable of creating memories far more precious than any physical gift. As the stadium lights began to dim and the closing music gently played, most of the audience remained standing in their places. Not because the final performance had just ended, but because the warm moment involving Jimin and the little fan remained deeply etched in their memories. In the middle of the sea of purple light filling the stadium, the little army was still holding the poster and the gift given by Jimin. The smile on their face seemed to reflect the feelings of thousands of other fans who shared the same happiness that night. Meanwhile, Jimin stood on stage waving to the fans before bowing his head in gratitude. Beside him, Jungkook looked toward the stands once more and smiled softly, as if knowing that this night would become one of the most cherished memories for many people. Quite a few fans admitted that they came to see BTS's extraordinary performance, but left carrying an entirely different story. It wasn't about the grand lighting, nor about the extravagant stage, but about the sincerity shown by an idol to his fan. Long after the concert ended, photos of the sign reading, "I love Jimin. Give me a gift, whatever it is," continued to spread across social media platforms. Many people commented that those simple words had transformed an ordinary night into an unforgettable moment. Yet, among the thousands of voices filling the stadium that night, there was one phrase spoken most by the fans. "I wish I could feel the happiness that little army felt." And perhaps, years from now, that child won't remember every song sung that night. However, they will surely always remember one thing. The moment their idol walked up to them, held them, smiled at them, and made a little dream come true. That night, Boston didn't just witness a massive concert. Boston also witnessed a beautiful memory that will live forever in the heart of a 6-year-old child.